It's Caleb.
It's Megan, and we're back with episode 6 of the #WHODIS podcast.
Meg, we have an absolute superstar on the podcast today. We have been absolutely pulverized with DMs with people like, get this person on our podcast. And it's finally happened. Who is it, Meg?
That's right. She's been very highly requested, and as always, we must give the people what they want. So today we're talking all things wholesomeness with who other than Ellie. Or as you may know her on Instagram as Elsa's Wholesome Life. Ellie is an Aussie nutritionist and dietitian, and she's nailed it when it comes to living a wholesome life. She's a boss babe and owner of the Wholesome Store, a book author, and best of all, a brand new mum. She inspires on the daily with her huge following on Instagram with almost 800,000 followers, as well as on her YouTube channel and blog that are also filled with heaps of nutrition, lifestyle, and travel inspiration. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, guys. What an intro. Wow.
Meg does it better than anyone else. You are, the ultimate celebrity after an intro like that, that's for sure. But,
feel it.
Thank you so much for having us. We're here on sunny Gold Coast. Meg and I landed and we're like, we're not even ready for like a Gold Coast winter. We've come from Sydney. Yeah. I'm hot.
We're sweating,
We are pretty lucky up here.
Yeah, we've had a good trip up, and thank you so much for having us. Amazing time for you at the moment. You're a first-time mum, and it's all happened during this crazy period of life that we're living at the moment with COVID. How's it been the last couple of weeks?
Well, we're almost 3 weeks in now. It feels like a blur. 3 weeks on Sunday. And it's been such a crazy time to transition into motherhood as well as pregnancy through COVID. Like, actually, it's probably made it a little bit easier because, well, through my pregnancy, we were having to stay home so much and no one was really out drinking and, you know, socialising and all those things, and which kind of worked out perfectly for me because I never had FOMO being pregnant.
That's good.
But these 3 weeks have gone so fast, and we're loving our little bubble that we're in with the newborn, with Bowie. And it's just been a bit of a blur.
Nice. I actually saw your pregnancy reveal to Alex on YouTube.
Oh.
And I like, what was going through your mind when you actually found out yourself that you were pregnant?
Oh, I was so nervous because it was a complete surprise to us. So I was so nervous. And then because usually I tell him everything straight away. And I was down in Melbourne when I found out, doing a series I did a couple of podcasts and some radio interviews for my second book. And so I was trying to focus on that, but I'd literally the night before just found out that I was pregnant and I hadn't told Alex. So it was just like a big roller coaster of a day of emotions of trying to be like focused on this book, but also in the back of my mind going, oh my God, what is happening? And then when I came home, I was like shaking to give him this gift for him to open up and record him opening it. Like, I was excited because I knew he'd be so excited because it's his dream to become a dad, but I was just so nervous because it was such a surprise and so exciting.
His reaction was so, I'm going to say it, wholesome. It was the best ever.
He literally like started jumping up and down, like squealing.
He actually is the ultimate dad. Like, he's passed the test even just with us coming in today. Like, he's got the little dad, what do you call it? Like the little
baby
dad
carrier?
backpack or something, the reverse backpack or whatever. He's a champion. We've asked for things. We've been like, Ellie, we need this, we need that for the podcast setup. And Alex has gone and gotten it for us and sorted it out. He's just
on it,
on it. Yeah,
he's tidied the house for you guys too. It did not look like this morning.
Don't tell us all your secrets. I walked in, I'm like, what is this beautiful place?
It's usually really tidy, but I think the whole newborn bubble. So one of our friends came to meet Bowie and they're like, I've never seen your house so messy. No offense, but I haven't. We're like, yeah, it's been a bit hectic.
We need to get him on, like, what's that van called? Hire a Hubby. Help everyone out.
The Alex edition. Yes. He'll help you get your Wi-Fi password for the podcast set up.
He will.
Get drinks from the fridge. Yeah, no, he's a good guy. And Oat, we got to meet Oat as well.
Yes.
So Oat, how's Oat transitioned with having Bowie around?
She's really, really good. Like, I think they just have this instinct to know that it's a baby because she's so gentle with him and so curious. Like, when we first brought him home, she was excited but like so much more gentle than I would have expected, and she just wants to constantly check on him and like sniff him and just make sure he's okay. It's really cute. And then like up in the room, she'll jump up on the bed when I'm feeding and just put her chin on my knee and just sit there watching. It's really, really cute. They're gonna be good friends, I reckon.
She's like a big ball of fluff. I love her.
is.
And you can see, like, you know, I think you can tell, like, dogs like just have like this massive smile. Yeah, like you said before, she's literally like a human.
Yeah, she's so happy
Yeah.
and loves everyone and anything. But a little bit too much, because sometimes when we're out walking, she wants to meet every dog, but not every dog wants to meet her. And she's like very over the top, and that some dogs just don't take it too well. It's a bit.
You haven't given Oat the memo?
We haven't.
Like, settle down, social distance for a while, all right?
Literally, when we were in like the whole social distancing, when it was really, really strict, we'd be like trying to stay away from the people themselves, but the dogs are playing. We're like, well, we can't we have to distance, but the dogs don't, so let them play.
Yeah.
And we'll just stand back.
That's the most awkward thing. You're like, oh, but my dog's
Yeah,
I don't know, is this
and then they're
safe?
twirling up on each other, and you're like, oh my God,
Sorry.
meter and a half, stay away.
So good.
Yeah.
I love it. Alrighty, well let's move on from the dog talk, because I don't have a dog and I'm going to feel left out, even though I love dogs.
Oh, you
my
need to get a dog.
My dog passed away. My childhood dog, yes. But anyway, not about me. Let's talk about. I mean, people want to know all about you, so I suppose we have to go back to the beginning. Like, you're a dietitian, you're a nutritionist. How did you even decide to become a dietitian, nutritionist, in order to then even become Elsa's Wholesome Life?
Well, to get to there, I guess we have to jump back to in school. Let's jump back to school. In school, I was very interested in health and fitness, always have been, and always enjoyed cooking my own food. And then post-school, I went and did a gap year with the army, because I wanted to go to university, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I think at the time, I thought I'd go and do something like fashion, because I loved fashion in school. And I thought I'd do a sort of creative course like that. And then I need to take a year, like a gap year after school. And I did the army gap year, which was just typical me, wanting to just do strange, out of the box, challenging things. So I signed up for that. And it was during that year that actually made me realize that I did have a passion in nutrition, because I was in a different environment where I couldn't prepare my own foods. And actually the food wasn't very healthy, and I just felt so different in myself. Like, I gained a lot of weight, I just didn't have much energy, and I just didn't feel myself when I couldn't prepare my own healthy foods. So I realised I was interested in nutrition, and that's when I applied to do nutrition and dietetics.
Wow. I wouldn't have guessed that you've been in the army. What was it like? Like, they rough you up?
Yeah. Literally, when I was in the training, we weren't allowed to have our phones. We weren't allowed any of our personal belongings. So you were just dressed in like the army clothes, no personal belongings. You've had like specified blocks of time when you could use your phone and contact family. And Alex and I had just gotten together. So he literally told me he loved me when I got onto the bus to leave, and cried. So it was like a bit of a weird time for me, just like falling in love and then going away where I couldn't even contact him. We had to write letters to each other. And they would like definitely pick on me because I was the smallest. Like, they're like, you need to eat more, you need to get bigger, you need to get stronger. And I went from the start where I could barely do like 2 push-ups to the end, and I could do, I think it was 56 push-ups in 2 minutes.
Wow.
And they're male ones. And I was like, I'm going to, because they kept picking on me about, you look weak, you need to like beef up a bit. So by the end, I could do the most push-ups out of all the girls and some of the guys. And I was so proud of myself. That little competitive edge.
Did you say 56? Or did I mishear?
56 push-ups. I can't do that now. I'm probably back at 2.
Yeah, I was like, drop down and give up.
Probably 1.
We'll change Spirulina Shots edition to just push-ups. If you get the answer wrong, get down and give me 20, Ellie.
I would struggle. But yeah, it was such a weird, crazy year. Really, like, I enjoyed it. It was so challenging, and got to do some like things I would never get to do. But by the end of it, I was pretty ready to come home and back to my normal life.
Yeah, imagine you doing it now, and like you're there and you don't have the ability to use your phone, and you're like, I'm Elsa's Wholesome Life. I need to put a post up now.
It's prime time. Can I have my phone? I know. I couldn't.
Ellie, we're marching at the moment. Put your phone away.
And it is very regimented and very, especially in the training, very strict with like the rules. And I think back to that and I'm like, I could not do that now. Like, then I was very much like, okay, do what I'm told. But now I would be like, I need my freedom. Couldn't.
Yeah, that's crazy. I might have to do some intensive so I can be able to hit my push-up goal this year.
Practice every night before bed beside your bed.
What are you at the moment, Meg? How many do you reckon you can do?
I can only just almost do 10 male push-ups. Almost. At 9, my elbows are a bit like, giving up. Yeah.
I've seen on your own account, you kick ass at the gym though. You got some... I don't know. I reckon you should be able to hit double digits. Sure.
Oh, God.
Strive for it. Practice.
56. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, talking more about your socials, actually, how did you, when you went down the path of nutrition, how did you actually start like your Instagram and your YouTube channels and stuff like that?
It was totally unplanned. Like it was during uni, so I was in my second year, and because nutrition and dietetics very heavy science based, like a lot of chemistry and bio and all that stuff, and I do have a tendency to like being creative, as you could probably see from creating cookbooks and recipes and taking photos. I like to do the creative side of things, so I was kind of missing that little creative edge, and that's when I decided to create a separate Instagram account just to purely take photos of my food and photos of me running and things like that, and just share them with no plans at all, just a hobby. And then through uni, I think that's when it kind of just picked up, because back then in Instagram, that was probably 7 years ago now, maybe more.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how many, maybe 7 years. Let's go 7. I don't want to sound too old.
I mean, in Instagram, like it's kind of like dog years. Like it could be like multiplied by 7. Like it's about half a century ago.
Yeah. So by the end of my uni degree, I think in the final year, I received my contract for my first book, and I still had the final year of prac and my honours thesis to go. So it was pretty crazy, because I had always envisioned I'd leave uni and become a dietitian and work in a hospital or in a private practice. But by the last year, I kind of had developed and built this online career and business that I kind of could just slip straight into that.
Yeah, and for our followers listening, what's the actual difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian? Because I feel like those two can often get
interchanged.
Yeah.
The difference is basically a year extra at university and completing your prac. Basically, nutrition isn't protected in Australia, so anyone can do an online course and call themselves a nutritionist. But the term dietitian is protected, so you have to have done a specific course and specific hours of prac. So it's, I guess, a little bit more legitimate. But in saying that, you can still do a 3-year nutrition degree and be a legitimate nutritionist. Let's not say that, but yeah. So it's basically the same, but dietitians can work in hospitals and can also get Medicare rebates. I haven't actually practiced as a dietitian post-uni, so I'm like, this is all like me trying to find these.
Going back,
yeah.
Trying to remember it. So you have like a food philosophy that is, radically different to the old school food pyramid and whatnot that we have unfortunately had as part of our society for too long. But yeah, talk us through your food philosophy and how you actually ended up becoming plant-based and living the vegan lifestyle.
My food philosophy is eat more plants. I'm actually like seeing it on the back of this book here.
Yeah, which those books
that's my note.
those cookbooks are absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Our employees have got some, and we're flipping through it. I was even looking through it last night. Just the photography and then the recipes with it. It's
breathtaking,
insanely good. I didn't expect it to be that thick. I could kill someone. I could kill someone with one of those things. Just one of them.
Yeah, they're chunky.
That's all you need.
They're like little blocks of recipes. I think over 100 in both of them. So yeah,
that's crazy. That's so impressive. That's
big
crazy.
job, but worth it. Rewarding.
How many have you thrown them at Alex yet for when he gets a bit naughty?
Throw them at him to make him cook for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Make this. What was the question?
We do that on this podcast.
Yeah.
We just talk enough rubbish. Well, probably more me. You guys stay on track. I'm here to talk rubbish.
I was I'm off track here. What was I? Food philosophy, eat more plants.
Yeah.
So basically, I wasn't always plant-based vegan. Even throughout uni, I think it was midway through I started to transition, and I didn't jump into it overnight. It was kind of just like gradually removing certain foods or adding more, and I became more interested in just eating whole foods, and that's what my whole Eat More Plants is about eating more whole foods and like less from a box, more from the planet. Like it's quite simple, really. And I think that's what a lot of people resonate with my philosophy about, because it's not about you have to be vegan, plant-based, strictly, nothing in between, because for a lot of people that's quite scary. But my philosophy is more like just eat more plants, like have a vegan meal once a day or once a week, or try it out and see if you like it. And then people feel way more encouraged to jump in and try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
What was your own journey with like becoming, I guess, or living a plant-based lifestyle? Like, how did you ease your way into it?
Well, initially I cut out meat because it just didn't feel like, we were kind of learning in uni about, red meat and how it's not good for us. And then we were learning about the environmental impacts. And I was like, well, why am I eating it? And like, why is it on our food pyramid? Like, it kind of just didn't seem quite right. So I cut that out. And also I never really was a big meat eater. That was one of the things in the army that turned me off, because it was very meat-based, very heavy, starchy foods. So I already didn't really like eating meat much. So it wasn't really a hard thing for me. And then I cut out dairy, which wasn't intentional. I just kind of started having like soy lattes and almond milk. That all became trendy at the same time as well. And then finally I think it was fish and eggs, which is kind of like the path most people take.
Yeah.
Cutting back. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite like substitutes? I guess, even your plant-based eggs. Like how? Like I looked at your book and I was like, what the heck? It looks like an egg.
That is witchcraft right there. How did you create that?
That one's a funny one. I think it was an accidental discovery. I was trying to make something else. I think I was trying to make
a potion or something. Like God.
I was trying to make a Vietnamese pancake, and then I made this thing that looked like an egg white, and I was like, just nailed an egg white. That's so weird. And I wonder if I can do an egg yolk. And that's when I found out about that kala namak, which is a kind of salt that is like sulfuric. It smells eggy, which is kind of disgusting. But you add a tiny bit of that to the substitute that I was making, and it has that egg yolk taste.
Is that I think I saw it in your cookbook. Is that the black Himalayan salt they call?
Yeah. I've got some in the cupboard if you want to have a whiff.
Yeah. I want to have a taste actually. Get it on the table. We can
sprinkle on everything.
That's perfect.
In the shot.
We got Spirulina Shots. The old school lemon, lick,
yes.
put it, lick, drink, and then suck or something. So all we need. I've got some lemon in this water that Ellie's given me. So
she can show us the ropes.
We can do the full gamut.
I might let you try it out first.
Yeah, I'll be the guinea pig.
See if it's
safe. We have Lauren. We're doing the podcast with her after this, and I'll just be gone, I reckon. After that, like, all right, Meg, this is over to you.
But yeah. Just looks like unreal. The texture, even the texture, I was looking at it, I was like, that's an egg. But,
I know, when I put it on my Instagram, I actually got attacked because people thought it was a real egg. And I was like, I think it said in the caption, but people don't read captions clearly.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's good. At least it looks legit. That's a success. And even I think it's on the back of the other cookbook. And I had someone message me like, how can you claim to have vegan recipes in your book? There's an egg on the back. I was like, well, you haven't flicked around the recipes to have a look, have you? Because there's a recipe for that vegan egg.
Wow. We're talking more about your cookbooks, actually. What was kind of like the process behind it? How did you launch your first one was Elsa's Wholesome Life, right? Yeah. How did you actually start?
Oh my gosh. We're going back to uni days again, so I'm going to be a bit scratchy here. But I created that one in my final semester. So I was basically, I think I was doing prac during the week, and then during the weekends I was creating the book. So I had like a banked up recipes from my blog that I could use, but I wanted to reshoot everything so that it was all really cohesive. So I had to recook everything, rephotograph it all, edit it, and then send it off to my publishers. And then of course come up with a bunch more recipes because we had to fit over 100 in there. So it's a huge, huge job creating a book, but so rewarding.
Yeah.
Like nothing,
Who ate all the food?
Alex.
Who was lucky enough,
and me. And we probably had some lucky neighbours.
Yeah. How long did it take for your first book to come out?
I think I finished it in the December, January. I moved over to Bali around the time I submitted all of the work to my publishers, and then I moved over to Bali, and then it came out in the July or August after. So I remember having to come back to Australia for the launch.
Oh, wow.
Feels like
a bit of a busy bee.
It's did you have to do like a book tour and all that kind of thing?
They don't really do many book tours anymore, but I had to do basically block out a few weeks for publicity for it, for radio and TV and things like that.
That's so cool. How big were you on Instagram? Like how many
At the
followers?
time? Oh, maybe when this came out, maybe around 400,000, maybe.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Maybe
nice.
less,
Yeah.
maybe more. I'm not sure.
Wow.
All right, well, so I'm only 400,000 away from launching my own cookbook. That's nice.
I think when they contacted me, I had maybe 100,000.
Yeah, okay.
Because I know at the time when the publishers came to me about publishing me, I had like written on my blog that my dream was to publish a book one day. And I started submitting, I made an ebook just at home, just made a little ebook, which I still have on the Wholesome Store. And I remember submitting it to some publishers and seeing if they'd publish me, and didn't hear back from any of them. And then the one publisher who did publish me, I had like written in my diary a date to publish my book, like to publish with them, because you had to submit your work on a certain day of the month at this time, between this time and this time, otherwise they wouldn't accept any applications. So I was like waiting for that time and date to submit it. And then I got an email pop in from their publicist like in the week before or something, and I was like, oh my God, it's like
Whoa.
it's like you put it out into the universe and then it happens.
Yeah.
And I was
So
like
cool.
so blown away, because I was still in uni. I think I only had about 100,000 followers at the time, and it was like a long-term goal for me, like a career goal that I thought in a few years. I remember being like, oh my God, what?
Wow, now you got 2 of them. Doubled,
love
yeah,
it.
nice.
And maybe a third one day, maybe.
That's it. So, Ellie, you have the Wholesome Store as well. Like, you do everything. It's ridiculous. So you've got the cookbooks out. You went to the you went to the army. Then you're like, hey, I'll do an Instagram, and then I'll bring out cookbooks, and I'll also have an e-commerce store. And then you decided to become a mum as well. Are you planning to like become an astronaut next, or like do some sort of intergalactic travel? I don't know, but run us through the Wholesome Store. I want to know all about it. Well, I already know all about it, but let the listeners know all about it, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so the Wholesome Store is basically my husband and I's e-commerce brand, which we started that in December of 2017. I know that actually because it's written on our website. Usually I'm so bad with numbers. And we basically started that as a way to basically create a brand around my brand. Obviously the word wholesome is kind of like the brand word. And I wanted to create a brand where I could create products that I love, or things that I want, or things that are my style, etc. And we wanted to focus in on like the healthy lifestyle area, but kind of keeping it pretty broad as well. Like we have jewelry, we have clothing, we have health products, my cookbooks, ebooks, like literally you name it, we basically got it. And cutlery, that's one of our big things, is doing some kitchenware and ceramics and cutlery.
Okay, if someone could only get 3 things, give us your top 3 from the store that they need to go get now, unless it's sold out.
Well,
It's probably sold
Because I
out.
saw some items sold out.
the issue.
silly.
That's 2020's issue, everything being sold out. We're just basically struggling to keep the stock going with COVID. It's just been a bit of a nightmare. But if you could get anything, if it was available, I would say the cutlery collection, the spoons, which are restocking very soon. Everyone is really excited. One of our sweaters and my cookbooks,
Nice.
if that's one thing.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, we got a bit of
Okay.
a...
Oh, let's move into some baby talk here. This is my favorite. So this segment is called #MILF. And this one's just literally all about motherhood. So you're a brand new mum. We're just going to ask you a couple of questions, basically just about your pregnancy journey, where you're at now, and like any advice you have for some new mums as well. So what does your routine look like as a mum nowadays? And what some of the challenges, I know it's only been a few weeks, but some of the challenges that you've had so far?
I think the challenges are getting out the door. Like our usual routine, we always had like a morning routine of getting up. Alex's alarm would go off at like 5 something in the morning when it's still dark. And then we'd walk for coffee, work out, and then come home and have breakfast, etc. But now, like today we got out at 10 a.m. and that was like an achievement. It's just a slower lifestyle. But basically the routine is eat, sleep, poo, repeat. The baby, that is, not me. No, it's busy, but it's been really, really rewarding. And we're kind of just adjusting our whole lifestyle to the baby, because it's like the newborn bubble, and it's just basically all about nurturing him and feeding him and letting him grow. So trying to also balance some work in there too. But yeah, we're just basically taking each day as it comes. You can't really have much of a routine with a baby, so Just trying to get out for coffee once a day is my routine.
Nice.
He's so quiet though, even when me and Caleb first got in here.
Absolutely gorgeous. So precious when we saw him.
100%, yeah.
What a champion. I mean, one of the most important things for being an international celebrity such as yourself is picking an amazing baby name. And you've nailed it. You have nailed it. How did you come up with, well, why did you decide on Bowie?
Names for a boy. So we didn't find out the gender. We wanted it to be a surprise at birth. So we were throwing up girl names, boy names. Girl names, so easy. We had like such a long list of girl names. And so the whole pregnancy, I was like, please have a girl, because the names are sorted. And then we had a boy and I was like, I knew that was going to happen though. So we did have some names planned and I had picked 2 names. And then I said to Alex, you can basically, when he's born, you can go, he's this name or that name. And when he was born, Alex was like, he's definitely a Bowie. He looks like Bowie. But basically the name came from 2 things. Firstly, David Bowie, obviously. And then secondly, I love rainbows and there's like a rainbow decor on his door and he has some rainbow things in his room. And I kind of chopped off the rain and went, Bowie. And that's kind of,
What was the alternative name?
The alternative name, I have to keep a secret.
In case
there's another boy.
Baby number 2.
Everyone keeps saying, like, what's the other name? What was your girl name? I'm like, there could be another baby. We won't know, so we've got to keep it secret.
We'll let you keep that secret. It's probably the only secret you'll keep today.
Yeah, exactly. We got Spirulina Shots going up.
All right, so this is one of my favorite questions. I love knowing like what's the weirdest craving or habit or like throughout your pregnancy that you had.
Oh no, I hate having to admit this.
Oh my gosh, what is it?
And Alex is about to walk through the door. Or he has, so we're going to get a nod as a verification here.
Well, the healthy me would never drink soft drink, but my pregnancy craving was Coke Zero. It was.
Was it Diet Coke?
Zero. It was zero.
Coke Zero.
Zero sugar, but don't know what else is in it.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're honest. That's good.
Yeah.
I hadn't had it for maybe 5 to 7 years. And then all of a sudden I just started craving it out of nowhere and I was like, this is so strange.
Whoa.
And then as soon as I've had him and I'm back home, my friend's like, are you still going to drink it? And I was like, honest, I don't feel like it anymore. Like it must, it's bizarre.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
I'm glad I'm not still addicted.
I wonder if it's like, I just want to know how that works because you get the weirdest answers when it's like food cravings during pregnancy, like the strangest things. And it's like, where's that coming from?
Well, like your nutritionally, there's nothing in that I need. So it can't be something in there that my body is craving. It's
the taste, the
fizz. I don't know.
Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Limited myself to a mini can a day.
Oh, good. There's nothing wrong with a bit of balance, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So how do you juggle the work life and mum life? I tried to, by the way, we're meant to like be professional here and be like, we know the questions and all that. And I just made it so obvious I'm reading from the questions. Looked at Meg while I'm doing it as well.
Don't be sus.
We got about like 40. We have so many questions lined up. Meg, you've done like 50 questions. So like I can't even act professional here.
We need to know.
I know. But yeah, run us through how you're juggling. Well, I mean, it's probably a little bit.
Yeah, you can hear it right now.
You're already... Bowie's needing some attention. Wrap up the podcast.
He wants to say hello.
He's like, I'm going to wreck this for you.
Exactly.
How do I balance it?
How are you balancing it? It might be a little bit premature at the moment, but yeah.
I'm still figuring it out. But basically, I mean, they do sleep a lot at this point. So when he sleeps, it's kind of like a race against time. What can I get done and what priorities do I have? So at the moment, I've just been like finding little gaps in the day. Like some days I get no work done and that's just that. I just got to accept that. But some days I'm like on the computer, I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this time to see what I can get done and just do as much as I can for that moment and then just drop it when he's up crying again.
Yeah.
I'll find my balance eventually.
Well, let's pause the podcast for a second. Just a quick announcement. Firstly, thank you so much for tuning into the hashtag WHODIS podcast so far. Just a quick reminder, remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future episodes and don't forget to share it with your friends. You can also find us at Tropeaka on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, pretty much all over the web for all of your health and fitness inspo along with a whole lot of fun. So what's any advice that you would give to some new moms out there or anyone going through their pregnancy journey right now?
Probably just to not have expectations. I think I had so many expectations about it being really hard. So a lot of people said like, sleep, or say goodbye to sleep, like you're going to be so sleep deprived. It's like breastfeeding can be really hard. So I was really worried and like stressed about it beforehand. But every baby's different, and so far he's been really good. I mean, he's crying right now. I haven't had him for a few hours. But so far it's been a lot easier than I expected, and I know it can change. But I think I just had this mentality that it was going to be really hard and stressful. So I think maybe just like don't have expectations, because it could go either way. And I think if you have these expectations, that even if you had expectations that your baby's going to be a good sleeper and then they're not, it might be really hard for people. So just, take each day as it comes, because every day is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being open-minded, I suppose you'd say.
Being open-minded.
Yeah.
What was
it's
the
all
best
unknown.
part of like your pregnancy? Were there any like really, I don't know, I haven't been pregnant before, so I wouldn't know, but like highlights?
I really loved pregnancy, like more than I thought I would. I think it was just like being so in tune with your body, because like it's constantly changing, and you're just like, being so much more aware of what's going on and what you're eating and like how they're growing, and always following up with like your obstetrician or your doctor. And it's just like concentrating so much on your health and the baby's health. And it kind of just, I think that was the highlight for me, just being really in tune with the journey, and just everything's new, and seeing like what your body can do. And then like after, like how your body, changes after. It's just like mind-blowing.
Incredible.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that about life. Like, we take so much for granted, right, on a day-to-day basis. Like, just the fact that, like, I'm looking out the window there and there's, like, grass there. Like, it's something so simple, but, man, that thing's, like, alive and growing.
Yeah,
and there's birds in the air, and there's
Yeah.
palm trees blowing, and, like, we're humans in reality.
Yeah.
And I love just how, like, babies bring us back to that reality
They
of,
do.
like, and pregnancy, like, that thing was, like, Bowie was
Yeah.
growing inside of
I know.
you.
Well, that's like when I had
crazy.
him and they put him onto my chest, I was like, whoa, that's
Oh
it.
my
Like there's a little human that was inside of me and it is now on my chest. Like,
What a
it's just,
miracle.
it's just like, how does that, I don't know. I just, growing a baby,
Mind-blowing.
and a baby is just like, it's like,
There's no
yeah,
way
I
to
can't
explain it.
speechless.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So cool. So cool. Well, look, we're going back-to-back segments today. Actually, we just had our hashtag MILF segment. Thank you, Meg, for introing that. Now I get to intro hashtag Spirulina Shots multiplied. Meg's put the word multiplied on this segment for good reason, because normally how we do Spirulina Shots, like the first edition of Spirulina Shots was we'd ask like the influencer, like we'd describe a photo and off their Instagram, they got to guess it. If they get it right, then we do the shot. If they get it wrong, they do the shot. But we thought, hey, you've got an identical twin. How ridiculous is that? Which is really cool. Lauren is identical,
Yes,
right? Yeah,
yes.
yeah, cool. It's like low-key freaking out. The way I knew it, but then you looked at me in a way like, and I'm like, oh, but I think you're
edit that
thinking
out.
probably about Bowie up there or something. I'm like, all right, cool. So we thought, what would be really awesome is ask some cool questions to both Lauren and yourself and see if you can guess it right. See if you
I'm
can
looking
guess
at
the
those
questions.
shots thinking they're all going to me.
Well, look, identical twins, we had really high expectations. We
Yeah.
asked hard questions because we're like, as an identical twin, you should know what like Lauren did on like May 8th, 2004. And if you don't, that's an absolute travesty. So
And I'm a competitive person, so I'm like, oh no, I have to get this right.
and we got some juicy questions.
Yeah.
So
no.
for those that don't know, Spirulina Shots, quick run through because a lot of you have already seen these podcasts before. Spirulina, it's a badass superfood, one of the most nutritious, if not the most nutritious superfood on the planet. That's the upside. The downside is it tastes like creek. And when you add water to it, it tastes like creek water. So you only put a little bit in your smoothie at a time. That's all you need because it's so nutrient dense. But hey, we're seasoned professionals here. We're superfood. Oh, God. I wanted to say superfood, superhuman, something like that, but that sounds so lame. But anyway, we're trained professionals, so we've put it in shot glasses, and the loser has to have a shot every single time they ask if we ask a question, you get it right, then we have the shot. If you get it wrong, you have the shot. Are you ready to play? Ellie.
I'm nervous.
Nice. All right, first question. Who would Lauren, your identical twin, like to be stuck with on a deserted island other than a family member or her partner, Jack?
Well, it could go a few ways, but I would say our best friend, Hayley, because you can't take a dog because that's family. Otherwise, she'd take her dog, Oreo.
Okay, what's your final
So
answer?
let's go Hayley.
You got it right.
Oh, no, that's impressive. All right, I got to do the shot. All right, I'll get it. Best friend Hayley. Yeah, Lauren definitely can hear.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm holding this shot up, and I'm the first.
I love how you're just taking one for the team. I'm just chilling back, living life. Big smile.
I'm lucky I put my water by my side.
Shrek 2.0.
So I've got to show this next question because I'm closest
Yeah.
to the camera.
All right, so the next question is, what's one thing that Lauren can't live without?
Oh. I'm going to go with her dog, Oreo.
You're too good.
Damn it.
She loves
Have you guys
him.
cheated on a scale of 1
Yeah.
to cheating? Have you cheated before?
We haven't. She was like,
Yeah, it's probably
we can't
obvious
talk
for
about this because we'll give too much away. Because I was asking her, I was like, what's my pet peeve? And she's like, you can't answer that. I was like, okay.
All right, no, fair enough. Look,
That's
I
an
get
easy one though.
it. Yeah,
she loves
that
her dog.
could be. All right, you're up. Suck in.
I hope I get these all right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're on fire. No, honestly, if you get them all right, I'm shocked because I thought these were tough questions.
All right, here we go. I actually really like Spirulina.
Like, this is great. I'm going to be like spewing.
All right.
It's all right when you have it with a bit of orange after.
Oh,
They
really?
do that in Bali. I remember having spirulina shots and then, oh no, that was wheatgrass.
That actually
Yeah.
sounds really
That was
nice though.
wheatgrass.
Yum.
Yeah, anything citrusy to take away the flavour.
Yeah.
I have it like straight, and Meg does as well, but we don't have it in like shot glasses with like that ratio. Oates, join us.
Oates!
Please don't break the cables.
Don't break anything or chew anything.
All right, third question. Oat, you can help us out on this one.
Give me the
buddy.
answer. Hello,
So good.
darling.
I actually hope you get this one
Yeah.
wrong, this question wrong. So we have two crazy answers because the question is, what's the craziest thing Lauren has ever done?
Craziest thing. Wow.
Answer
There
as
is a
well.
lot of crazy
Oh,
things.
You might as well just say Morg.
I'll give you some tea. She was a naughty teenager. Let's say that.
Run us through everything.
How much time do we have? She was a naughty teenager and I would follow with what she would do. I would do everything that she did. So I was also a naughty teenager. So I reckon it would be something from our teenage years. There was a time that I think she was arrested. And I wasn't actually there for this one occasion. She ran away from home and was arrested because she had, I think she had a big goon sack in her hand and they crash tackled her and arrested her.
No, you've got to be cheating. That is like
Right,
picture perfect.
Yeah.
Running away from home and getting crash tackled by police because she had a goon sack.
And if anyone doesn't know what a goon sack is,
Yeah.
do you want to explain that?
Yeah. Just in
Yeah.
case we've got, yeah.
So a goon sack is just cheap wine in, what do you call, like, in a box,
foil?
I suppose?
yeah, like a foil bag.
It always came out of the box and
yeah.
then you just put the foil back.
Yes. So as teenagers in Australia, you'd put, they have even a game called Goon of Fortune.
Yeah.
Did you guys play Goon of
Yeah.
Fortune when you were teenagers?
Yeah, Fruity Lexia.
Yeah, put it on,
Goon of
you
Fortune.
put the goon... how
On the
does it
heels
work?
hoist?
On the heels hoist, and you spin it around, and whoever it lands on has a drink. So that is crazy. How did you get
Wow.
that?
Well, that's probably the worst of what she's done.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because the annoying thing is, like, I would have pissed myself laughing, like I did when I first read that question, that answer, sorry. But I even gave it away because I looked at you
Yeah,
and I
I
didn't
was
laugh.
like,
Like,
Oh my God.
All right.
Unless it was
Okay.
something, yeah. That's probably, yeah.
All right.
Well,
I think
wow.
that was the hardest question.
Yeah.
So we snuffed it.
Well, I was there for all of that, so I can't
What were you
forget it.
doing? Why didn't you have a goon
I
sack
wasn't
at the
there
time?
at that one occasion. I think I was at home with my mum like, how dare she? Oh my God. She's so naughty.
How old was she?
Ooh, 16?
Yeah, wow.
Oh, wow.
Out sprinting the cops. At 16.
Yeah.
No, she didn't
Sense.
out-sprint them. They
Yeah,
definitely.
that's true.
All right. The next question is, what's Lauren's ultimate pet peeve?
Of anything.
Pet peeve. This is a hard one. I couldn't even answer this about myself. Lauren's ultimate pet peeve. Well, probably she hates when her partner Jack tells really long stories. He drags them out and she sits there and just, I know that annoys her, and my mum does it too, and that annoys her as well. So I'm going to say people who tell long-winded stories. To get to the point. Did I?
Drum roll.
You're loud breathing. You haven't breathed loud so far today. I've been waiting.
Yeah,
for
it's probably on the mic. You hear just a...
Are you a mouth breather or a nose breather?
I think I'm a mouth breather. I think that's why
Yeah.
I'm loud.
Oh.
Mouth breathing.
I feel like you have to
is,
think about mouth breathing, no?
There's a lot of science behind breathing out of the mouth and why it's really bad, and breathing through the nose and
Is better.
how it calms you and stresses you, and it filters the air a lot better. And
Maybe
all that.
I don't
Listened to
know.
a couple podcasts on it recently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You should just
I'll have
practice
to-
around Lauren now.
Yeah. I'm just practicing my nose breathing.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Oh, that's really mean. So I have to do a shot, don't I? I'll
Yeah.
breathe
Yes.
loud. I'll breathe loud
Woo.
as I take it. Oh, is it going to stain me?
Just
All right,
tip
cheers.
fast.
Oh, yeah, that is Lake Creek water.
Yeah.
Smile for the camera.
Took that like a champ though. That was easy.
Yeah, nice.
I think I'm getting to the end where it's starting to settle on the bottom.
Oh, I missed the good bit.
All right.
To
Well,
lick it clean.
this could
Ugh.
really suck for me because I got the fifth and final questions. Could be none from three. All right. If Lauren was granted one wish, what would it be?
One wish. Oh. How... If Lauren was granted one wish. Sorry, this is... What would it be?
I think I'm doomed.
You think this is an easy one? Maybe it is easy. I think she, right now, let's go right now. Like I could go something really over the top. Like she could have like an awesome beach house in Palm Beach. But if I wanted to go realistic right now,
I'm going to start drinking.
her wish... No! I think, well, she wants to move to Australia. She just bought a place here and she wants to move here with her partner and her dog. And I think that would be her wish, that she could do that, because it's quite difficult to get a dog from Bali over to Australia from quarantine. So I think her wish would be that they could come here now.
Just drink it. Get it over with.
Is it it?
Yeah.
Bring Oreo and Jack over to Oz from Bali.
Yes.
Meg, you're going on
You
Lauren's
can share
podcast.
it.
You're doing the three.
Share.
I'll need them by then anyway.
Too good, Ellie. Too good. Look,
That one was easy, actually.
in all fairness, we've had a pretty full-on day coming up here.
Yeah.
So I need
Lick the bottom.
that has automatically taken the parental advisory. When
me wanna drink water.
when I put the podcast up, it's like, is this podcast okay for kids? And I've just straight away taken that down. Now we've lost our audience.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh.
All right, we're going to go a bit more into, I guess, what your day on a plate is, especially as a nutritionist and dietitian. I'm sure a lot of people out there are so intrigued to know what you eat, what's important, what important nutrients are like to get in your daily, I guess, routine. So yeah, tell us a bit more about that and what your day on a plate looks like.
All right, my day on a plate. Well, breakfast is usually a smoothie accompanied by some avocado toast. So I'd have probably always a salted caramel smoothie with Tropeaka salted caramel. That's my fave.
Yeah, highly rate.
It's my favorite little recipe. With avocado toast, just pretty simple. And then my next meal would be lunch, which really, lunch is the most variable for me. I don't really have, like, because we work from home and we can just make whatever's in the fridge or whatever we have, and we never really have leftovers. I kind of just will put together something really random. So my lunch changes every single day. But let's say something like today I had a green bowl. So I had like lots of greens, some rice and some tofu and like kale, broccoli, some nuts, etc. And then, yeah, that was my lunch. And then for dinner, well, again, it varies because I like to mix it up and cook lots of different stuff. But I always try to have a source of protein. So like last night we had these pulled mushroom meat tacos. And that's this new mushroom meat that we've been trying. It's now at Woolies, I think. It's Woolies. And it's made from shiitake mushrooms, but it is high in protein.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it tastes like a pulled pork kind of taste,
Got
but
the
mushroomy.
jackfruit kind of vibes, does
Yeah,
it?
yeah. A bit more texture than the jackfruit and probably more nutrition because the jackfruit doesn't really have protein.
Yeah.
So it's got protein in it. It's made from shiitake mushrooms, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But usually it would be like a source of protein like tofu or chickpeas or like something like that, or a veggie patty or something. And then always having lots of veggies. So yeah, really my dinners. I mean, through COVID we were when we're in lockdown, I know we're not through COVID now, it's still happening, but when we're in lockdown, we were basically going back to my cookbooks and trying something that we hadn't eaten from there in a long time and just pulling a new dinner recipe every night. And I was actually meal planning. I never really meal planned, but I was actually like writing for the week all the dinners and planning out every dinner so that we could like literally plan it all.
Yeah,
It's the most organised I'd ever been in my life.
It's insane. Like, so over 200 recipes with both cookbooks combined together. You could literally cook something new from each of the cookbooks every single day and it would last you 9 months.
Yeah. Literally, we were in a rut of not knowing what to cook, and then I was like, well, we have my cookbook, so let's just like adventure back into it and start cooking some of the recipes that we haven't made in ages. And it was a lot of fun, and I was doing some IG lives through lockdown as well and sharing like cooking things from my book on live Instagram, and I always thought I'd never go live on Instagram, but there's so many things about lockdown and coronavirus that have actually been a positive for me, like even just pushing myself to go, okay, I'm going to go live, because I was always terrified about doing something like that. And even, just so many things that kind of, were a little bit of a silver lining to it all.
So cool.
So do you ever actually get like sick of cooking? I know I try and cook like maybe a handful of times a year and I'm like, all right, calling it quits now.
Well, I do.
You mean once?
I was trying to sound impressive. I love cooking. I find it really enjoyable. But like there's times where I'm like, when we're making a cookbook, it's literally like back to back cooking like 5 to 10 recipes a day just to bulk cook them and shoot them. And those times I'm like, literally get to the end of the day and we've cooked like 5 or 10 recipes and I'm so over it that I don't even want to eat the food. Like I'm like, oh my God, I can't even bear to look at food or be in a kitchen. So times like that I get over cooking, but I love cooking. And I do need to be honest, Alex does do quite a lot of the cooking for us, especially like these last few months, because I've been just like busy with pregnancy and getting work done and stuff. He's kind of taken the reins to cook for us a lot of the time.
That's cool.
And it's been so helpful. But sometimes he's angry at me. He's like, no one knows that I actually do most of the cooking in this house. He's like, you get all the credit for being the cook online. He's like, but I'm the cook in the house at the moment. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Well, here's his
more credit.
spoken truth, yeah.
I love it.
So he'll be happy to hear that. I gave him a
And
shout
he's
out.
up there looking after Bowie as well.
Super dad.
Yeah, exactly. Doing it all at the moment. Love it.
But what's your favorite thing to cook?
My
that you
favorite
enjoy
thing
making?
to cook.
Yeah, like, or it could maybe just like be dessert or breakfast or.
I don't really like making desserts. I'm not a big dessert eater, so I don't really make many desserts. And so when I have to make them, I just feel like there's so much room for error in desserts, in like baking and stuff, that it makes me really nervous, especially when I'm like planning to make a recipe for my blog or for Instagram, and it's like something I have to bake, and it's like you put it into the oven and you're like, this could be a disaster. Like you cut open the banana bread or something and you're like, this could be like such a disaster. And then I've just spent all this time making it and writing out the recipe, and it could just be like one little thing wrong. So I don't really like, I went off topic there, but I don't really like making desserts. But my favorite thing to cook would probably be, I love cooking with spices and adding different spices and stuff. So like making curries and things. So maybe curries.
Yeah.
Because when you get the mortar and pestle and make your own curry paste, it's a lot of fun.
Did you say water pistol?
I was like, you use a water pistol when you cook?
That's how she makes a smoothie. She just goes directly with the pistol into the blender.
I was like, that sounds fun.
The mortar and pestle. I probably pronounced it wrong.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds
The
a lot
water
more
pistol.
realistic.
Hey, whatever floats your boat and how you make smoothies, love it. Let's talk a bit more about, how you approach. I mean, and not everyone's obviously had a look at your cookbooks before and read them. So tell us a little bit more about, let's say, your top 5 pieces of advice when it comes to nutrition.
Top 5. I'm going to have to count these out. Keep it simple. Eat whole foods. Don't overthink it. Mm-hmm. Are they kind of the same thing? I don't know. Right. Eat variety, especially with your fibers, like your fruits and veggies. Eat a good variety. And eat colourful.
Yeah, nice. Get those flavonoids.
Yes.
Polyphenols in. like it. Carotenoids. Beautiful. Expand on that. Why... Okay, so your first one was keep it simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fairly self-explanatory, but give it like a little bit of a one sentence
about
with
that.
everything. Yeah.
I think just a lot of time people overthink nutrition or overthink food, that they probably maybe stress themselves out about what to eat, when really it's like you can probably write down what you're eating, and probably you can probably pick out yourself what you're doing wrong. It's probably pretty obvious. Like I know I did like a nutrition thing with my dad, and he was sort of like, I don't know what to eat, and we wrote it all down, and I was like, well, what do you eat? Like, look at the alcohol, or look at all the cakes, or, you know, the 2 portions of dinner, and that's probably where you're going wrong. It's probably pretty simple, and you can see it yourself. I think people just get a bit afraid. So yeah, keep it simple.
Yeah, it's fascinating how that works, like where, like especially with people who are looking for like weight loss and whatnot, where you don't keep it simple and you stress, and then stress
Overthink.
makes you want to eat more, which then puts on weight, and it's this horrible cycle that kind of is a never-ending cycle. And so I love that bit of advice, just like relax, chill, take it step by step, right? Like you spoke about that earlier in the podcast, where it's like even if you want to transition to eating more plants, like it's not about going 0 to 100. And the same
it's
for
not
like
overnight.
Any area of health and wellness. Like it's not an overnight thing. Like be kind to yourself, have that end goal in sight. Don't lose focus of that, but understand things happen in time, and be patient and loving to yourself at the same time. So yeah, really like that. Really like that, Ellie. Do you want to expand on any of the others? I'm trying to
Variety.
Yeah. That's just about like fibers. So like if you're eating a wide range of different foods, like try to experiment with different fibers, and that comes down to the different fibers and the different carbohydrates in those foods, and it feeding your gut bacteria. So eating like a wide variety of different foods, trying new things.
Prebiotics, resistant starch.
Not sticking to the one, if you only eat rice, try a different grain out each day or each week.
Yeah, love it.
If you could like tell someone to start, someone who doesn't really know much about nutrition, what sort of like one staple thing that you would recommend for them to start like taking in their daily routine? Or I know everyone's different, but if you have any like staple advice for that, for like beginners.
Staple advice for beginners. That's a hard question.
I mean, you've gone over a few, like some really good points.
I guess it would be if you just go back to the basics of eating whole, real foods. So like cooking dishes from scratch using whole, raw ingredients, not necessarily eating them raw, but like using whole foods like fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, legumes, seeds, and making a meal from those, you can't really go wrong.
I love that.
You
So
can't really
much.
overeat that either.
And you naturally cut out all the crap by doing that, right?
Yeah.
So diet and nutrition's just as much about what you don't eat as what you do eat.
Yeah.
And that's where we go wrong in the Western world with all our crappy food and whatnot.
The convenience food that's
Exactly.
just so easy.
Exactly, 100%. There's only one convenience food you should be eating on the planet, and that's Tropeaka. But that's a whole food, right? We can't bring like acai berries from Brazil and bring them over fresh to Australia. It doesn't work like that. So we turn them into a powder so that people can have it conveniently, and it's a very nutrient-dense food. So although there's always exceptions, like Tropeaka being that, or a protein powder, right? It's a convenience food rather than eating, if someone's a meat eater, eating a big steak, or if it's eating a whole lot of legumes or whatever, having that convenience is so important. But having that knowledge and that wisdom around what packaged food, which is pretty much 99.5% of packaged food, which is absolute rubbish, which is like all about being shelf stable, high in like bad fats and sugars and whatnot for those addictive properties. And you can normally find them in the middle aisles of the supermarket, at least in Australia.
But I was in the supermarket yesterday and I noticed in the fruit and vegetable section, is that going to be in the audio?
No, but it's also fun. We're listening to Bowie. So look, if the end thing is Bowie in the background, then how cool is that? What a good. We got our fourth guest that we should introduce Bowie today.
He wants to be heard. I noticed in the supermarket last night, they had a whole big display of chocolate in the fruit and veg section.
Really?
Of Cadbury.
No way.
Huge. And I said to Alex, I was like, they've worked out that people skip their aisles, so they're throwing it in the healthy aisle.
So
just
bad.
to get those people who are like, if I don't look at it, I won't buy it.
Yeah.
But they're trying to buy their fruit and veg, trying to be healthy for the week, and then it's just staring them in the eyes, the bright packaging. I was like, that is just terrible.
Demonic.
That's a crime.
Demonic.
Whoa.
That's what we were talking about earlier when we arrived. We were talking about someone who has started a new health food business, and that's amazing, right? Like we love our competitors at Tropeaka because like the enemy isn't the competitors. Like we want to make everyone healthy. Like the enemy for us, and I hate it sounds stupid saying enemy, but like our true competitor is like the Cadburys of the world. Those people that like aren't don't share the same values that we share in terms of making people healthy.
Yeah, not making the environment more healthy for us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so we're going to go into some final questions here so you can get back to your baby boy. So tell us a bit more about what your wellness routine looks like, skincare, getting your vitamin D, maybe how you start your day, little hacks maybe that you use every day.
Yeah, so firstly, I like to get enough sleep. I think that's so important and so underrated. It's kind of funny coming from me with a newborn. I've probably got some nights of no sleep coming up, but trying to get 8 hours of sleep a night, especially pre-baby. And then in terms of skincare, my routine's actually really, really simple because I found out that it's kind of like a rare fungal acne. Sounds really funky and gross, but it's just basically like the balance of bacteria and fungi on my skin was out of whack from living in Bali. And so I found that I had fungal acne. So basically my skincare routine is like super simple because it's just about minimizing products that I use on it that will trigger it to sort of get out of control again. So I basically just like use a simple cleanser and a toner, and then the only oil that I really use on my face is a plant-based squalane oil. So it's like super simple.
I've never heard that word. Is that
It's a natural oil that's on our skin, and it's one that can't feed that type of fungi, so it's not going to make it go out of control. And like I've tried to experiment because I have so many skincare products and I love skincare products, and I keep trying to experiment with serums and other oils and things that I have in my drawer, and every time I do, my skin just like flares up again. So I'm trying to be like super simple with my routine for now. And in terms of other wellness things, I like to always take my supplements daily. Of course, being on a plant-based diet, you need to take a B12 supplement because there isn't plant-based food sources of B12, unless the foods are fortified. So I always take that. And then I was taking a prenatal supplement and I think as well an iron supplement as well.
Yeah, nice.
So that's kind of like that's my supplements. And then I take the Body Bloom with some lemon juice and water and make a pink lemonade, and that's kind of been a new staple for me every morning because I'm trying to drink lots more, especially breastfeeding now post-baby. You need to have so much extra water and I'm constantly thirsty. So I think when you guys rocked up, I had it in my bottle, like bright pink lemonade. It's so good. But that just like helps me, and even just mixing that lemon juice in with some water just helps me to drink way more water during the day. And then finally, like getting outside for some sunshine. I think I said in one of the earlier questions that like my main like routine goal is just getting outside the house for coffee at some point, and that's just like getting some fresh air, even if I'm just going for a short walk, but just getting outside for some air, walking the dog and getting some sunshine down at the beach or something.
You live right by the beach, so have you done any like winter? I mean, it's not even winter here, really. I was gonna say, have you done any winter swims? It'd be so cold.
Any poor excuse for a winter?
Yeah, we don't have your winter, but the water's pretty cold. And we like the last few times I've been to the beach, I have been for a swim. It's not that cold though. Can't really.
We were talking about your jacuzzi, and for anyone wondering what a jacuzzi is, it's my name for a jacuzzi and a pool combined together. You have a jacuzzi.
I have a jacuzzi. I do.
You can do it's a lap pool if you only want to do 2 strokes across, 2 freestyle strokes. But it's definitely not a jacuzzi. It is this massive thing that deserves a post-COVID party in it.
It does.
Could fit like 30 people in there. It's pretty cool.
It's a little ice bath in winter too, because it doesn't get much sun and it gets pretty cold.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was even talking about a jacuzzi. I forgot why I was talking about a jacuzzi, and that's right. We're bringing it back to the fact that we're talking about doing some ice plunges in there. You said you were doing it. Who was the soft one, Alex or you? I can't even remember.
Well, like I would put my legs in there after a workout just to like if I'm like tired, been for a run or something. But Alex would jump in. And that's sometimes how he cleans the bottom. He goes in there
nice.
and has to scoop things from the bottom. But he has the cold showers as well, whereas I'm like, make my shower scorching. Love a hot shower. And he's like, you should try these cold showers. I'm like, never happening, especially not in winter.
I feel like that's such a guy thing. Every guy asks is like cold showers, and all the girls are always like hot.
I'm like, maybe it's good for my health, but no.
It takes about 10 cold showers and then you're like, I love this.
Really?
Yeah. Or you can do the simple.
Even in winter?
Yeah, you can do the simple, did it 2 days ago. You can do the simple like 10-second cold, 20-second cold, 10-second hot, and kind of alternate and then finish on cold. But you feel hot afterwards once you do enough of it. Yeah, like you can walk around my apartment without clothes on for like a long time in the middle of winter afterwards because your body just retracts all the blood back into the organs, vital organs. So.
Wow. Well,
there was this great place in Bali that I used to go that has like, they got like a sauna, steam room, cold pools, and then just like a normal pool. And I loved going there and just like doing laps of all the different parts. It just makes you feel so good.
Yeah, nice. Well, besides your future goals of like 30 people in the jacuzzi.
30 people. I don't even know 30 people.
Hey, invite us up. I want to be part of that jacuzzi party. What's your, it's a good question to end on. What's your future kind of goals and aspirations? As we said, like you
what
do
else
so
can you do?
much. I know, like what next? So run us through your future goals and aspirations.
Well, good question. I mean, I did have this plan to do a recipe app one day, and that was going to be this year, and then Bowie came along, so I've just pushed that to the side. But that was kind of like my next little business goal, career goal. Don't know when that'll happen. Otherwise, I don't know.
Do you have any new items coming in the Wholesome Store?
We always have new things, new clothing. I've been sampling a lot of new clothing. I've been having a lot of fun with that. It's just a matter of when it's going to come because, coronavirus is making supply very difficult. But we have some new clothing styles coming this year, which will be exciting. But otherwise, we just launched a mini mama collection, so like lots of baby products. So I think we'll continue to probably grow into that collection because it's where our life is at right now, and it's my store's always resonated with where I'm at with my life and what things I was doing or liking or enjoying, and bringing out products to sort of suit that. So probably that area.
Yeah, nice. I think I was talking to Caleb earlier actually, and we were talking about what your day on a plate would look like, and I was like, oh, baby food for sure. So yeah,
baby food.
Love it. All right, well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Ellie. Thank you so much for allowing us to come up here and, getting to know you for the first time in person. So it's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you so much for being part of Team Tropeaka. For those that don't know and just listening to the podcast for the first time, Ellie, you've been part of Team Tropeaka for the last... quite a few months now, and
have to be 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been something we don't take for granted. We're incredibly grateful for you and what you bring to the team, and as a ambassador and a face to I suppose health, wellness, and representing our brand. Thank you so much for that. And how about you let everyone know where they can find you online?
Yeah, thanks for having me so much on your podcast and for making it easy coming down to see us. It's been really great. And obviously I love working with you guys, love the brand, and it's been, so great to partner with you guys, and then obviously to meet you guys in the flesh. But you guys can find me on Instagram at Elsa's_Wholesome Life, and on YouTube, which is more of a new platform for me, again, Elsa's Wholesome Life. And basically it's all under Elsa's Wholesome Life. So my blog is the same, www.elsaswholesomelife.com.
Awesome. And the wholesomestore.com.au or
the wholesome.store. Actually.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Ooh, 20,
Lucky we
that's
missed that,
2020.
We couldn't get the .com.
Oh, no.
I went with the .store.
I love it.
It's even better, don't worry.
Yeah, for
I was
sure.
like, it's edgy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, it's been a very wholesome podcast, to say the least. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time with the identical twin.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Just a reminder before you leave, thank you so much again for tuning into the #WHODIS podcast so far. Remember to hit that subscribe button right now so don't miss out on any future episodes, and also remember to share it with all of your friends. You can also find us at Tropeaka on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, pretty much all over the web for all of your health and fitness inspo with a whole lot of fun.